Alright guys, it's a beautiful late fall day here in Idaho, and I'm going to tell you the story of how when I was in Las Vegas last weekend, I think somebody tried to steal my Fiesta ST with me standing right next to it. Now for those of you who aren't aware, this is my 2016 Ford Fiesta ST, 1.6 turbo, 190 blah blah horsepower, front wheel drive, 6-speed manual. It's a fun car. It's seen some rough patches over the course of my ownership, but that's to be expected because in the year and a half that I've owned it, I've put about 30,000 miles on it. I drive a lot, all right? That right there is kind of the key element because, but you press the startup button, you start the car, you're having a nice morning in Las Vegas, and you look up and you look at this windshield wiper blade. Alright, so let's pretend we're in Vegas again real quick, right? So I start the car, I'm having myself a nice morning. I look up at this windshield wiper, but instead of this view, I see this view. Yeah, just a, well, it was a 20 actually, but I don't carry cash very often. I just needed this money to go get a haircut. So I just kind of thought, well, that's weird. Why is there money on my car? And then I remembered back to something I read a long time ago about how people leave money on the windshield of your car and wait for you to start it and push the door open, and then you get out to grab the money and they go into your running car and take it with you standing there. So I decided to Google that again after this whole incident. It turns out it's a very prominent practice in Las Vegas, and though I was about 45 minutes outside of Las Vegas, that's just close enough to cause concern. So I think I made the right move here. So what do I do when my car's already running and there's money on the windshield? Obviously, I make the most informed decision anybody who's 6'3" would. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I hacked the system. I rolled my window down and leaned out the window and took the money and drove off. Now, I really hope that that's the case, that they were trying to carjack me, because not only did they not get my car, but they also didn't get their $20 back, which is the best part. And if there's one thing I'm upset about, the article said often it's a $100 bill. That would have been way better for me, but maybe that wasn't the case. I have a different theory as to what might have happened and why that money was on my windshield, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. First, we've got some things to do. Alright, we got a nice fresh cut. It's not styled because I always have a hat on, but now it's shorter and that's cool. It's like air conditioning for the sides of my head. Let's get back to the story here, but first we gotta edit a couple photos. Alright, so here's my actual theory as to what happened. I know I'm wearing a different hat and it's a different morning. There's someone here who I've negotiated with about coming after my sweet YouTube money in the past. We figured it all out. We realized there's none to fight over. So what I think actually happened was I happened to be parked next to a Jeep, and when I came out to find the you don't know the story, I'll tell you. Is that cracked? I was about to set the world on fire. There's this new dent and this new scratch here that were not there before. All the way down through the primer into the metal right there. In fact, happened to ding my car when they were in the parking lot, and they left $20 on my windshield. So yeah, that ought to cover it. However, that does beg an interesting question to me, is if someone did try to steal this car and my key was in the pocket, my pocket I mean, would it shut off when they got a certain distance away from me? Like, is that a thing? Somebody told me that push to start cars, like when you push the ignition button, it's like completing a code, and it's basically a virtual key going in the car whether or not there is one, and the car will continue to run and alert you the key is not in the car, but will keep going until you shut it off. So in theory, you could just like leave the car running if you stole one, fill it up with gas, and just keep going forever. So now we have to test that. So let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen at any point. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat at BigB1011. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.